Hi and hello everyone. Welcome to Popping Culture number 17. I'm Adrian.
I'm Jay.
And we're here on our usual time Wednesday, but we won't be next week.
No.
Because
apparently there's something happening next week. News to me.
You said you had plans on Wednesday night.
Yeah, this is usually my plans. I don't know.
Okay.
Is there something else I should be doing?
I feel like it involves lighting well, no.
It's because of my skin tone, right?
Aren't you watching the Muppets Christmas Carol?
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It could be Christmas, everyone, which means there's not really much for us to talk about as far as comics are concerned because nobody really ships a lot of comics on Christmas Eve. So they front loaded the month, which means we're kind of heavy these past couple weeks. We'll be low next week. So instead, we'll be coming at you Monday. Sounds good?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Fantastic. Let's jump into it then.
Okay.
What are we drinking, bud?
We are going with a little Disaronno this week, trying to class up the joint. You have yours on the rocks. I have mine neat.
Hence my pinky up as I drink it. Because we're classing it up a little bit.
Right. I wore my nice sweater this week.
Oh my! It is your nice hoodie.
Yeah.
I'm glad you wore your formal hoodie.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. This last Friday was my company's holiday party, and I did dress up very dapper. I went out and I bought some new clothes.
Ooh.
I went with the gray 5-pocket slacks, so they look like jeans, but they're not jeans.
But they're not jeans, sure.
And then I found a combination button-up shirt, vest, and tie that all color coordinated. It was all on the hanger. You bought it in one shot. I'm like,
oh my!
They took all the thinking out of this for me.
Did you really shop at Burlington Coat Factory for that? Because I have a feeling that's where it came from.
No. That may be where the pants came from. But no, that gem I found at Ross.
Same store.
It is the same store. Although I had never been in the Burlington at the new one. At
in
the
Everett Mall?
Not as bad as the one that I'm used to.
The one on the Speedway?
Yeah. Well, the one, yeah.
On the 99, yeah.
I was actually surprised. There was some decent stuff in the Everett one. It hasn't gotten too ghetto yet. Yeah.
Being the key phrase, it will happen.
Oh, absolutely. My brother actually used to work at the one in Edmonds, and when he started there, it wasn't too bad. And then I went there about a year later, and it was all South Pole and yeah,
Echo.
Right.
The one in not South Center, Auburn's. The Super Mall is pretty nice too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So what do you think about the Disaronno?
No, it's good. It is good. It's got it's the cherry flavor, right? Is that what that is?
Hazelnut.
Is it hazelnut?
It is hazelnut.
It tastes a little sweeter than
it. It has a.
It even smells like cherry.
It has a sweet hazelnut flavor to it. I don't think that it's actually cherry. I think what you're getting is often the times like in wine or whiskeys, you taste kind of the crop around it as it's growing. They don't actually put tobacco or chocolate in wines, but you have that flavor.
Right. Yeah.
I think Disaronno is very similar to that.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I'm not very familiar with it.
Yeah. You should email us if we're wrong.
Oh, yeah. Please do.
poppingculturepodcast@gmail.com.
Or just email us anyways,
You should definitely do that.
Yeah, totally
we had an email a couple weeks ago, and that was a fun time.
We addressed it. We've had a couple emails, but not really like worthy. Usually it's like Adrian, stop messing with your fucking shirt.
Your wife cares, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. She's very kind in her demeanor when she says it too.
But yeah, no, I mean, definitely email us if there's something that a beer or liquor or something like that you're interested in getting our reaction to. Even if it's one that you think is absolutely terrible, I'll try it.
Oh yeah,
we've had a couple mishaps.
There was one beer we saw today we wanted to get because it did not look very good.
Right.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
No, I like Disaronno. The problem I have with it is I will drink it like it's water because it's so sweet.
Right.
I don't think about it,
Yeah.
and then next thing I know, 9 later, I'm making inappropriate Santa Claus comments to like poor children walking by.
What kind of comments would that be? Just out of curiosity.
Well, your usual drunken March Santa Claus comments.
Oh, March. Good. Yeah.
What?
It's
the Disaronno talking.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which reminds me, I also must get dapper this weekend for I'm going to the ballet.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Nutcracker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the last time they're doing this version of the Nutcracker.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're switching over to a whole new one, new set, new costumes, new dance, new music.
Oh.
Jess is kind of bummed about it. We've gone to it 3 years in a row.
Okay.
She's gone like 20 years in a row. It's time.
Yeah.
Like it's time to move it along.
Right.
That needs to get canceled, much like DC canceled
Oh,
so many titles.
They axed half their line almost.
13 books.
Yeah.
Now, some of them I can remember. Some of them I don't care about. So let's go through the list. Aquaman and the Others. Good riddance.
I don't know how that made it past an issue anyways.
Infinity Man and the Forever People. I don't even know how it was published in the first place. Clarion the Witch Boy. It's currently at issue 2.
Yeah.
Hacked. Secret Origins. Take it or leave it.
I didn't even know that was an ongoing book.
Star Spangled War stories featuring G.I. Zombie. Are you kidding me with this?
What the deuce is that?
Trinity of Sin. I don't care.
No.
World's Finest. I don't care. The last, and then Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
I don't care. The other ones I'm surprised by.
Okay.
Arkham Manor. It is one issue's been released. Maybe two. Maybe two.
I heard one person gush over that first issue because they were pulling all these very, very obscure characters in. Some people that you had last seen in like the 60s.
Sure.
So that was interesting. But it definitely didn't appeal to me, and it doesn't sound like it appealed to many people.
Jerry Duggan writes it. Same guy who writes Deadpool. Wrote the video game Sunset Overdrive.
Right.
He's done a couple other things. He's a good writer and he's a really nice guy. I read all my Batman stuff in trades. So I was going to hold out for the trade. Apparently, I only need to buy one trade and it's going to be done.
If you even buy that one trade.
Yeah. I'll have him sign it or something.
Oh,
you know?
there you go.
Batwoman.
Yeah, that one was actually surprising to
That's
me.
actually my most surprising of them all.
Because I've heard from the people I know that read Batwoman, they love that book. They thought it's been a very, very well done book. But it's one of those ones that's just kind of been under the radar, I think.
So when Batwoman came out, it was very much under the radar. John Williams did amazing artwork. And then he took over writing the book.
Right.
He was writing it and bringing it to the arc where she gets married.
Right. And then there was the editorial decision not to do that.
Not to do it.
Yeah.
So in which case, he left the book
Right.
and a new person has taken over. Since then, it has not been hitting its sales numbers.
Okay.
So I'm surprised because everyone's clamoring for strong female characters, female empowerment.
Right.
Here's a very strong, empowered lesbian character. Like that fits everything people are complaining for, and that book does not sell. Also being canceled, Red Lanterns.
So as you read these next few, for those of you that have watched and or listened to the last few episodes, you'll remember my rant on the Green Lantern books a couple weeks ago.
When you say the last few episodes, do you mean your complaint since the first episode we've done?
Well, yes.
Okay.
But there was the bigger discussion of it.
There was a bigger discussion of it, yes. So, Red Lanterns, Green Lantern New Guardians, and Green Lantern Corps.
Yep. Which I kind of wish they had kept Green Lantern Corps and turned it into, like I was saying, like an anthology where you're actually exploring some of the different Green Lanterns as opposed to just
Every
hey,
book's a
let's-
different sector.
let's focus on the Green Lanterns of Earth in every book.
No, and I get that, and I would agree that'd be kind of cool. Like every story arc is a different sector, and it's kind of how they interact. There've been too many books, so it's about time. So
yeah,
that's fine. New Guardians, I think we all saw that was coming. Like no surprise there.
No.
The downside is what's going to happen. Now we're coming up to End of Godhead.
Right.
We know all the Lanterns survive Godhead. Okay? Because it's already been solicited.
Yeah.
Post Godhead. So what's going to happen? Are they all going to be pushed in the Green Lantern book? Or are we going to maybe see another book post Convergence?
Well, it sounds like at the end of this, Hal Jordan will not. We know Hal Jordan's not going to be charged with Green Lantern Corps any longer.
Hal goes back to Earth.
Yes. So with him out, maybe they're going to make Kyle Rayner the Green Lantern again.
Well, no. See, Hal's going back to Earth. The book can still be Green Lantern all about Hal Jordan.
It could be, but we've seen that he, depending on whether the 5 years later thing actually holds any bearing or not, he quits being Green Lantern.
Oh, you mean with
the
Future's End? None of that's going to hold any water, man.
I don't think so either.
Because they're going to have to, that means they have to kill all the Titans. You have to kill all the major superheroes. Like, they can't do that. There's just no way.
So do you think, is Convergence them saying, oh, we didn't mean to do Future's End?
No. I think it's a thing where it's 5 years in the future. It could just be a whole other thing. Maybe after post-Convergence, it's like Crisis. It rewrites what we did, and now we're going forward with a clean slate.
Okay.
Because we know they're bringing in the JSA after Convergence.
Right.
We know we're bringing in new characters. We're adding some old ones. So
here's a funny thing that I posed to my friend Chris the other day when we were talking about this. So since the relaunch in 2011, they've called the entire DC line the New 52. Yes.
yes.
So do you think post Convergence we're going to be calling it the All New 52?
They're taking over Marvel, where we had Marvel Now and now the all new Marvel Now.
Right. Yeah.
Hopefully they'll just become DC.
I
don't think it needs to say the New 52.
What if they
anymore.
rename the entire company?
The new company is now called the New 52.
Yeah. New 52 Comics.
New 52 Comics.
We published 12 titles.
Yeah. Well, before we finish and get into our comics, let's talk about some TV.
Okay.
What have you been watching?
So I've been watching some more Heart of Dixie. I'm almost done with season 2.
Okay. The new season starts soon.
Which is season 4.
Yeah.
So there's a whole third season I have to watch. But I have the last 10 days of the year off, so I should be able to plow through that pretty decently.
That's what she said.
In addition to that, I am caught up on Arrow and Flash and Gotham and Big Bang Theory. The only one that I'm not caught up on is Constantine. I've got about 3 more episodes to go.
Okay, so I touched on the Flash, but we didn't talk about it.
No.
I know we're a week behind. Let's talk about Flash.
Okay.
What do you think?
I thought it was good. I mean, I think it was very obvious to me that Harrison Wells was going to be Reverse Flash, Professor Zoom, whatever we'll call him. I thought I have a coworker who watched the show too, and he comes up to me after he knew that I watched the episode, and he's like, "How, if he is the Reverse Flash, was he also in a fight with himself?"
Because if he can time travel back to that point to make it look like it wasn't him.
Right. The other idea that I posed, I said it's either that, or we've seen previously in the comics where Barry moves so fast, or whoever's the Flash at the time, Wally, they move so fast that it looks like they're standing side by side.
Yeah.
They can do that real quick. So I told me it's either they're going to play it off as that, or it's going to be him coming back and beating himself.
So he would throw a punch and then get into the punch at the exact same time? I'm a little iffy on that one.
Well, yeah.
We'll see how it plays out. Yeah. The other thing I find interesting, notice when Reverse Flash runs, it's yellow.
Yeah.
Remember when he was fighting the Flash? It was the streak of yellow and red.
Right.
Look at when Nora died in that first episode.
You see both colors.
You see both colors.
Yeah.
Now this goes...
My question is...
Flashpoint?
No, my question is, was it intentional when they filmed that first episode, or did they not think about it?
So I don't know. So the way I see it, and what I think would be cool is, if for those of you who have read Flashpoint, Flash decides he's going to go back, stop Professor Zoom from murdering his mother.
Right.
So he runs back, stops Professor Zoom from murdering his mother, and it alters all the timeline post that event.
Right.
How cool would it be if they didn't do necessarily Flashpoint, but he goes back, stops Professor Zoom from killing his mother, everything's different. He's no longer in love with Iris because he didn't grow up with her.
Right.
All these things change. I think it leaves them a great out for when the show starts to dip.
They just go back and do that. Yeah. All right.
Like they built themselves
They're going to reboot themselves halfway through season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Like they built themselves an out. Why not use it? TV for me, I watched Selfie. I think there's only 1 episode left.
Oh.
It's so good. Like, I don't believe in all those online campaigns and, filling out the form and like writing and hopefully they'll change their mind. But seriously, I would love to see that become a show where, kind of like Arrested Development for Netflix, Hulu aired all the unaired episodes of Selfie.
Okay.
I would love for them to be like, you know what, we're going to pick up a season 2.
But hopefully it ends up better than season 4 of Arrested Development. Yeah,
season 4 was pretty bad. The only difference is I feel like the unaired episodes of Selfie, they realized they were getting canned, so they're already gearing up to end the show.
Okay.
So there may not be an opportunity for season 2. If Eliza ends up with Henry, show's over.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's been really funny. Like, I recommend to everybody who likes comedies to, when season 1's done, sit down and watch the whole season. It's funny. Like, I really, really like it. Also really loving the Goldbergs, as always. Great show. And I have no more Gordon Ramsay shows to watch.
Oh, sad day.
Like, you kind of come to terms where you are in your life when you realize there's not a Gordon Ramsay show available for me to watch because I've watched them all. Like, that is a weird realization to have. Like, I don't know if I'm proud or like now going to like go home and finish like every bottle of Disaronno ever made and just wonder what I've done with my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of in between at this point.
You got to find a new chef to watch now.
There's other chefs?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh, I mean, I had hope there for a little while. Thank you for crushing that again,
Sorry.
buddy. No. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and finish your Disaronno now. Yeah. So TV, I'm just still watching my regular shows. We're coming into the mid-season break.
Right. A lot of shows have done or are just about to do their mid-season.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a lull in the TV, which is usually when I pick up my movies, anyways. Be happy to know I watched parts of Sons.
Okay.
And I took a huge break, and now I feel like I'm just gonna rewatch it from the beginning.
Yep.
I did. I am now on episode 4, season 1. I'm going to go through the whole thing until it's done.
There you go.
So, Sun's awesome as ever.
Yep.
Like, I remember it being great. I'm really happy that it's good again.
I mean, there's points in it where it does kind of
Sure.
It's not as like, oh, what's gonna happen, but it picks right back up.
Yep.
It's good. So
no, I like it. Again, like there's a reason I want to go back and rewatch it from the beginning, and I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. In addition to the shows that are on TV now, I am also still watching some of the old DC cartoons.
Of course you are.
I watched the first half of Challenge of the Super Friends.
Wow.
Which is where you actually get the Legion of Doom.
That is a deep track, dude.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny because you see all those elements where everybody always pulls out the bad Aquaman references. As far as Aquaman was always looked down on, and he was like kind of...
Yeah, he was the butt of every joke.
So there was one scene in particular at the end of an episode where you see the entire Justice League in a line in a group, and they're saying something. It's kind of like the moral at the end of the episode, whatever. And it kind of looks like this. You've got like the group there. But the funny thing is, you see everybody except Aquaman is just kind of peeking over somebody's shoulder. You see from here up. I'm like, yeah, nope, that's about right.
That is, yeah. Look, until Jeff Johns took him over when we relaunched the New 52, he was the butt of a lot of jokes. Yeah. And they tried to reimagine Aquaman because he is a badass of a character.
Yeah.
Just never took.
No. One of the other things I watched was the New Adventures of Batman and Robin, which was the...
I don't think I remember that one.
It's the Batman and Robin cartoon where it's Adam West and Burt Ward doing the voices.
Oh my God, I've never seen this.
Oh, it's horrible. But the worst part is it was a 70s cartoon, so they had to have some sort of sidekick. Do you know Batmite?
Yeah, I know Batmite.
Batmite is the sidekick in the entire series.
Oh God, I would get so annoyed so quickly.
Yeah. Luckily, it's only 16 episodes.
Okay.
So it's not extremely horrible. So it's 6 hours of TV total.
How far are you in?
I've got 3 episodes left.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 episodes left works.
So that's what I've been watching.
And now, before we go on to movies, I actually have a game review I'd like to throw out there. Yeah.
Okay.
So
we do try to say that we play games.
You try to play games. I routinely play games.
Okay, fair enough.
I've gotten into some games I swore I would not get into that I am now deep in.
You're playing Pokemon?
No, how dare you?
Okay.
But the DC Dice Masters, I'm sorry. The Marvel Dice Masters game.
You talked about this on last week's episode about how you were not sure about it.
I went from not being sure to having a full collection of both sets. All I'm missing are the rares and ultra rares. Now, to be fair, allow me to clarify. Luckily, my friends, I have friends that aren't just Jay. Some of my other friends. What?
Nothing. Never mind.
No,
go ahead.
What?
Huh?
Come on, buddy. Don't be like that, pal. Come on, guys.
So the
other
game,
friends, they went so crazy that they bought like boxes and boxes of booster sets.
Oh, jeez.
So I got all their duplicates.
Okay.
So I have all the cards, but the rares and unrare and like super rares. I don't have all the dice yet.
Okay.
So you do need the dice to play with the cards. It's a fun game. The problem is they made a game that to start is $15, but on top of that, it's $1 for a booster. So there's that collectability factor, and you know me. Once I start a collection, I need the collection.
Yeah.
Some of the super rares are selling for like $120.
Ooh.
I'm not spending $120 for a single card and one dice.
Now, if you just find somebody that has that and give them a couple Disaronnos, you think you could talk them out of it?
I think I could talk anybody out of anything with enough Disaronno.
Okay.
Yeah. But the game I want to talk about is not the Dice Masters, it's the new DC deck building game.
Oh, okay.
So I have all the sets.
Right.
The first one was blue.
Yep.
Second one was red. Then they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths as their expansion. And then the new one is Forever Evil.
Right.
So it's a whole new set. You play as the villains, because in Forever Evil you play as the villains. A lot of the cards are the Crime Syndicate.
Now, are you convinced that you are not a villain, even though you are Ultra Woman or whatever?
No, you play as Lex Luthor, Bane.
Oh, sorry.
Against the Crime Syndicate.
Got it. Never mind.
So it's a lot more complicated, and you destroy a lot of cards. So before you would try to build the ultimate deck.
Right.
Now you're building to destroy, which as a villain, that makes sense because you destroy things as a villain.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at getting into the DC deck building game, that is not the game I suggest you start with.
No, start with the blue box.
Start with the blue or the red, depending on what characters you like on the cover more. They're the same game, just with different characters.
If you're a huge Larfleeze fan, get the red one.
Yeah, that's true. He's not a playable character, though.
No, but he's on the...
He's one of the cards in it. Yeah. The playable characters on the blue one are your Justice League members. The red one is like Hawkman, Captain Marvel, Nightwing, Batgirl, like, the second tiers.
Yeah.
Obviously, Forever Evil is the villains. Crisis is a whole other game I can't get into because that is a whole world of difficulty. I played that game probably a dozen times and won maybe 3 times.
Okay.
Otherwise, it is just nobody wins but the game. So that was my small rift into board games.
Okay. I may have to try that if we ever do that dinner.
Which one? The Forever Evil or the blue and the red?
I've done the blue and the red.
You haven't done the Forever Evil?
No.
Okay. No, totally. I'd be happy to bust it out and we can play.
Okay.
Jess, I don't know. Does your Jess go into games?
She can, as long as she understands them well. The last card game that we tried to play together was Munchkin, which I did not like at all.
Okay.
The couple that we were at their house for dinner was like, "This is an awesome game, you should play." And we tried, and I'm like, I don't understand.
So there's 2 groups of people. People who love Munchkin, people who hate Munchkin. I've never met someone who's like, meh, take it or leave it. The thing about Munchkin is I don't like games where there's not hard and fast rules.
Okay.
I don't like how it's too much like house rules, too open for interpretation, too much. And even though Munchkin does have like +2, +1 bonus, there are a lot of house rules that people make that just kind of bother me.
Okay.
So I don't love Munchkin, but I also don't like games where you're actively trying just to screw other people.
Right.
Like the goal is can I fuck with you more?
Yeah.
I
do enough of that in life. I don't need
Yeah, right? Like, I don't need someone to troll me in life and then in this game we're playing. I just don't need it. I believe it's called an IRL troll. Right? Isn't that what the kids are saying nowadays?
Sure, yeah. That's the old internet-based chat, right? Before AIM, the IRL?
No, that's ICQ.
Oh.
Wasn't ICQ also one of them that has like little flowers?
I was going for IRC, Internet Relay Chat.
Ah,
and ICQ was a client for... Anyways.
IRL, does that stand for in real life?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't need in real life. I'm AWK.
Andrew WK?
Away from keyboard. I think that's another one that's commonly used by the same circle.
No.
People?
No.
Oh,
You're going for AFK.
AFK, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's not like we have a couple of local nerd bars named after that term.
I don't get being okay. First off, I hate those places with a fiery passion of hell.
I don't mind them. I think they're far overpriced for what they offer.
That's what I hate.
And so I live 3-ish blocks from the original one. And when we first moved into our apartment, we went there a couple times because, this is kind of cool. And the prices weren't as bad then. They jumped the prices up this last year, and now I won't go.
I get so angry, and my friends like to go because we all like to play games.
Right.
I refuse to go because I refuse to pay that kind of money for shitty food.
Right.
When I can pay that kind of money for good food.
Right.
Like some of their shit costs more than me going to John Howie's Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?
Well, and I don't know how recently you've been there, but like I said, in the last year, they increased the prices significantly. So a burger that I would normally get previously that was 9 is now 13 and a half. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
And it's all shitty quality,
Yeah.
bad service. And this is the excuse that bothers me. Well, we're here to play a game, not eat. Well, then you know what? Then fuck you. Then let's go eat before and then come
Right.
here. Like, I'm not paying for shitty service, shitty food for a table to play a game on. Guess what I have everywhere? Tables.
right.
I have a warehouse fucking full of tables.
And, if you can go to a place like Card Kingdom, Cafe Mox in Seattle, that can do good food for similar prices, you have no fucking excuse.
You've never been to the Bellevue one, have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God. Worst experience I've had at a restaurant in a
I've
long time.
only been to the Ballard one.
Let me give you a quick insight, and I'll get on to movies and I'll stop ranting. So we go and we order our food. They're open for business, but they're clearly not. Like, the restroom stalls aren't even put in yet. They were screwing in the door signs as we got there.
I didn't even know that there was a second one. So
On top of that, we order our food. Waitress is a very unattentive, doesn't care. How is this? It's fine. Can we have this? Yeah, whatever. I'm like, first off, I'm like, you realize I'm paying you with your tip. Like, I want to show up with a stack of ones and be like, every time you mouth off,
I love that episode of Seinfeld.
I did not know that was an episode of Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
George Costanza. Go figure.
Oh, man. Like, I'm not doing that. So anyways, so we go, and I get a burger, or not a burger, sorry, a French dip sandwich that was very poorly constructed and made with fries. And I asked for ketchup. The waitress goes, I think we're out of ketchup.
I'm sorry, what?
Right? There's a Safeway across the street. Where I'm sitting, I can visibly see a Safeway. If you're out, your manager can get off his ass and walk over and buy condiments.
I've had Red Robin go buy special barbecue sauce for me.
On top, no. So I think we're out of ketchup. I go, okay. But we actually make our own ketchup. We make a spicy Chipotle ketchup. I'm like, oh, that's fine. Okay, it's $2.50 for a ramekin. I look at her and go, you're out of ketchup, but you want to charge me for the only ketchup you do have? Blank look on her face, like she does not understand what I'm saying. I just went, no, bring me something else. And she looks at another table. She goes, well, we do have one ketchup bottle left. Let me go see if that table is done with it.
I don't give a fuck if they're done with it.
So she goes and she brings back this ketchup bottle. It's one of the glass ones.
Yeah.
Literally, like, there is a thimble left of it. And I think maybe if I turned it upside down for 45 minutes, enough would leak down
for 2
to
fries.
moisten 3 fries.
Yeah.
And that is, I'm just like, ugh. Service was bad. Food was bad. Attentiveness was bad. The whole thing was a train wreck.
All right.
So, hey, you watch any good movies lately, buddy?
No, I actually haven't watched any movies.
Okay.
I've been all my DVDs
nope.
have been the TV shows.
I understand.
So,
I watched 2 on my flight. I just got back from Jersey. I watched Gravity because I'd never seen it before.
okay.
It's an hour and 40-some minutes. Honestly, did not feel like it. That movie, like, drifted by. And when you think of the whole premise is just Sandra Bullock floating in space for an hour, you're like, this is going to go on forever. Didn't. Totally happy with that movie.
Oh, good.
Like, even just watching it on my little 10-inch Samsung, totally happy with that movie. On my flight back, I watched Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay. Had you seen it before?
Never seen it before.
Okay, I have not seen it. Jess says that she believes that I would love that movie.
It is fantastic.
Okay.
It is funny. It's not...
How was Adam Carolla in that movie?
I don't remember which one. Oh, he's one... That's right. He was one of the donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was very, very small role.
Okay.
It's not the best DreamWorks movie I've ever seen, but it was really good. It's definitely worth watching. Like, it was funny. It was enjoyable. I thought it was really good.
Okay.
I had an issue placing some of the voices because Sarah Silverman is in it, but she sounds like Kristen... The girl from Bob's Burgers plays Louise, or she was also in Flight of the Conchords. Kristen Schultz.
You got me.
All right. Anyways,
Okay.
She sounds just like so. A couple of the voices threw me. Movie overall, I was super pleased with both of them. Like,
Okay.
I was really happy. In fact, I got Wreck-It Ralph for free.
Oh.
So, hey, here's a tip for everybody. Disney just released an app on Android and iPhone, and it is their Disney movie catalog.
Okay.
So all Disney movies are available for digital download, kind of like Vudu.
Right.
So if you register, they give you not to rent Wreck-It Ralph, but to own Wreck-It Ralph for free digitally.
Oh, nice.
So I did that, and I got
There you
Wreck-It
go.
Ralph for free.
Maybe I need to sign up for an app when I get one.
I think you should.
Okay.
So
Because I don't have enough sources for video entertainment right now.
Look at add the Disney collection, man. Who doesn't love a good Disney film?
Yeah. Okay.
They made the Fantastic Four movie, Incredibles. That is a copyright of Joel Villanueva, Phoenix, Arizona. So, shall we move on to comic books?
Yes, let's.
Let's see what you got.
Okay, so this week I got. Let me open that screen. I got Alex and Ada number 11. I got Green Lantern, New Guardians. I got Batman. I got the new Batman Eternal. I got The Kitchen issue 2.
Did I see Evil Empire finally come out with another issue?
No, Evil Empire has been going strong. They're up to like issue 8 or 9 now.
Oh, wow.
8.
Good for them.
But that was last week.
Okay.
I just haven't read it yet, which is why it still says new. And then I got I purchased Witches number 3, which I also have not read yet.
Which you've not read yet. Okay. I got Storm, Spider-Woman, because it's part of Spider-Verse, Scarlet Spiders, all new X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy, also Alex and Ada number 11, G.I. Joe, Earth 2 World's End, the New 52 Futures End. I also got Green Lantern New Guardians. I got Teen Titans, Supergirl, Justice League, G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, not to be confused with G.I. Joe.
Right.
Inhuman, and I also got Witches.
Okay. Which one do you want to talk about first here?
I'm going to talk about Witches and Guardians. The reason I say Witches and Guardians is because I'm adding Guardians. I wish we had like a little screen for this to my probably gonna drop book.
I'll find something for that.
Okay. Ooh, it was so... Jay, that looked really good.
I know,
You did a
right?
Good job, buddy.
I'm like semi-pro over here.
Wow.
It's really just the recycle bin from Windows 95.
I like that you already know what you're going to do.
Oh,
as we're
absolutely.
talking about.
Yeah.
So, as you guys have heard me complain, Bendis has been stretching stories that should be in one issue into like 5.
Right.
And I'm getting really bored, really tired, and really annoyed by it. This whole issue is the symbiote is on the ship is on the Milano with the Guardians, and it keeps going from one Guardian to the other, to the other, to the other. Kind of interesting premise. I don't need to read it for 30 pages. It got really boring real fast. The end of this, nothing. And this issue took me nowhere.
See, okay, so it's funny that you're complaining now about something that's been going on in comics for the last 15, 20 years, which is decompression of stories.
Yeah.
I have a lot of the original X-Men run on my tablet. So I'm talking like X-Men number 1, 1963. A couple weeks ago, I had some time, so I pulled up an issue at my lunch break. Like I could probably bust out 3-4 issues at lunch because I have a 45-minute lunch break, and I'm used to a comic taking 7 to 10 minutes to read. It took me 40 minutes to read
so many word bubbles
because it was so much story crammed into one comic, and it's such a vast difference over what we get now, where it's they can tell and the amount of story in one comic in the 60s would take an 8-issue run now to tell the same story.
So the reason I say I'm comparing it to Witches is because they follow the same pace.
Okay.
Like, I read this and it's really slow, and I don't go anywhere. I read Witches. Equally, I felt as slow, but a great story progression in the slow.
Okay.
So the difference about the decompression is this could have been told in 4 panels and nothing would have been lost. This, although as slow, could not be told any slower without losing content and story. But Scott Snyder did it into an enjoyable factor. Like, I enjoyed where it was.
Now, being that Witches is kind of more of a horror story.
Yeah.
And when this was first announced 8 months ago or however long ago, Scott Snyder said this is going to be the scariest story you've ever read. That's how he built it. Do you think the fact that it is more of a horror thriller-ish, that slow pace makes it better? Like when you're watching a scary movie and it's that really long, drawn-out scene before you know something bad's about to happen.
So the greatest reference to that is the Alien movie. Not Aliens, Alien.
Okay.
Where the alien is on the ship and it's just Ripley by herself. You don't see that alien for 3/4 of the movie. It's just that anticipation of when you finally has you on the edge of your seat. I would almost say that's possible with Witches. The story definitely puts me in that environment. The art takes me right out.
Yeah, that's definitely, I've only read the first issue so far. I have the second and third. I haven't got to them, but it's Jock doing the art.
It is Jock doing the art.
Jock has a very, very distinctive style that I've never really been a fan of in anything he's done.
So I can imagine it's difficult on this full size, much more difficult on your tablet. Now, I'm going to show you a couple pages. Like here, the dialogue and the people, it looks fine, and I can follow it.
Yeah.
When I get to things like this, this just looks horrible, and it takes
this
me
very abstract color happening behind the panels,
and it takes me out of the book.
I don't even understand is this somebody's stomach?
That is somebody's stomach. Yeah,
okay.
But his art is over stylized and over. I don't know. It's not that it's abstract. It's congested with color that doesn't belong. It takes me out of the story, making this not what Scott Snyder intended.
Okay.
The story hits 100%, and I'm really enjoying it. The art is actually what's taken me out.
Okay.
With that said, I'm still in for Witches because I'm a substance over visual person.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm still in for the story.
Okay. And I don't remember off the top of my head, is this an ongoing or is this a limited?
I think it hasn't been solicited as one of the others, so it hasn't been issue 1 of 5.
Okay.
It hasn't been solicited for a end game. So it may be a maxi series, but definitely not a mini.
Okay. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Alex and Ada, because I love this book, and y'all should know that by now. So much that I've now gotten you to pick up the book. So
not only did because I had read a couple issues, and I'm like, this is really good. I'm going to wait for trade. I couldn't do it. Like, I had the first trade, and then I'm like, well, I'm still missing 7 issues. So I got them to take the trade, and now I bought all the single issues, 1 through 11. So I'm in.
So it's funny because I'm actually going to pick up on the theme that you were just talking about the pace of the storytelling.
Okay.
This is not a fast-paced book at all.
It is not.
It's very much, each issue is very much a 22-page story of this very specific thing that's happening. And a lot of it is, you'll read 20 pages where it's them standing in a room having a conversation that would be about a 10-minute conversation, which is about how long it takes you to read the book. And that's one of the things I love about it. It's such a very simple, just scaled down story. If you remember from the review of the last issue, they finally, Alex and Ada finally hooked up. Ada being the android that Alex got as a present to try to get over an ex-girlfriend. She is sentient now, and they have said, you know what, we're not going to let this robot thing get between us, so let's hop in bed. So
I have so many 5th grade jokes to make at that statement.
Yeah. Also, it's very much like Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. So this issue picks up at the end of the last issue. It was them in bed going to sleep. This issue, it picks up the next morning when they wake up. So it's just right there. You don't skip anything. And what happens is Ada wakes up and she's like, I think I had a dream, but I don't know what a dream is. So Alex is like, well, why don't you tell me about it and we'll figure out what it means. She's like, why don't I show you instead? Because he's got the little chip in his head.
Oh, right.
So she just projects her memory of the dream right into his head. And what it was is she was in a rowboat in the middle of the ocean, no land anywhere near her. She doesn't know what that means. So she hops onto one of these digital chat rooms that we've seen him in before, the digital environment, and nobody's in there because of all this stuff that the government's doing now, trying to track down sentient androids. All the androids and the owners are afraid to go into these virtual chat rooms because they don't want to be found.
Right.
So she's there, and she ends up talking to the admin or whatever you would call it. And she's like, I had a dream. Is it normal for androids to dream? And the host is like, well, what do you dream of? And she's like, well, I was in a boat. And the guy's like, no. Not what did you dream of? What do you dream of? Which is kind of an interesting way to phrase that. And she's like, well, I want to be accepted. I want to be part of society. I don't want people to look at me as an outcast. I want to be included. Which, well, there you go. That's why you're on a boat in the middle of the ocean with nothing around you, is because you don't feel like you're part of society.
You feel isolated. Yeah.
So there's that. That's the first part of the book. The second part of the book is one of Alex's friends had a fake leg, like one of those, kind of like what they give for the runners now, kind of that spring leg, or whatever. They've developed a brand new leg for him that looks just human-like. So he's having a party. It's the new leg party, and he's inviting some friends over. And it's Alex and Ada, and then these 2 other friends that they all have in common. Well, this friend who got the new leg, him and his wife were the ones whose house Ada ended up at when she ran away. So they know she's sentient. This other couple doesn't. So when they have this party, she goes and she has to act like she's a robot or an android or whatever, like she's not sentient. And one of the other guests is getting on Alex about why he is treating his android like she's a person when she's not a person, she's an android. And he's like, she's more to me than that. And this lady's like, oh, so it's your girlfriend now? Like, don't you think that's messed up? Why are you attributing such human factors to that thing? Da, 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 da. Gets upset and they leave. Well, now Ada's hurt because she's like, well, I'm never going to be seen as anything other than a thing.
Right, what her dream was about in the beginning.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how the book ends. And like I said, I love this because it is such a simple story. It's not this big, unbelievable thing. It's like this is essentially real life for what
that would be like in the future.
Yeah.
No.
So I think it's very, very good. Art, as always, is very crisp, very clean, very believable. So
awesome. Nope. Totally looking forward to. That's actually my plans this weekend, and plus during Christmas, as you know, Jess and I, Christmas Day plans is wake up in pajamas, go to sleep in the same pajamas, and do nothing all day long.
I think we're doing a movie again.
Yeah, no, we might go watch a movie. Yeah, like even still in our pajamas. Like we're dedicated to.
Nobody's gonna be there to see you in your pajamas.
No,
anyways.
But yeah, so I'm dedicating some good time to some Mario Kart. Some comic books.
There you go.
All right, so the last book I'm going to review is Inhuman number 10. I had a really high expectations for this book. It started off really strong. It's dipped down. I don't know if it's dipped down because it's required to be part of Axis or not. I have a feeling that is the situation. Right. So we had Medusa, who was on Genosha, which means she was affected by all the Axis stuff, and now she's come back as Dominatrix Medusa, essentially. Black leather, evil, but not evil.
So she's the Zenoscope version of Medusa.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, oh yeah. She's about to be in Grimm Fairy Tales.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, I'll show you because I know you don't read it. Like, very clearly, like, black, spandex, and... The story with the sub-characters on it is really interesting. The story regarding the royal family, I'm less interested by just because it's forcefully part of Axis.
I'm sorry, is that Spider-Man on the cover?
It is.
They're putting him in every book, including Inhuman.
So the reason he's in Inhuman is... I was going to get to my review.
Sorry.
No, it's fine, Jay. It's not like I ever interrupt you and ask you to talk about things, so... This goes around, comes around, I guess. So what happens is Gorgon and why are you looking?
Nothing. I'm letting you do your thing. I'm just gonna sit over here.
So Gorgon, the consigliere to Medusa.
Wasn't that a character from Mortal Kombat?
That's Gorgo.
Oh, sorry.
Although they do kind of look similar, this one only has 2 arms instead of the 6.
Oh, okay.
But same kind of hoof and fit. So he's worried about Medusa. She's very clearly acting awry. She's very acting strange. He's afraid that maybe Maximus has her under mind control. Something he knows something happened in Genosha. He just can't put his finger on it.
Okay.
So he's been calling in for some help from the Avengers to keep an eye on her, see what's going on, one, two, or the other. So Captain America kind of showed up at one point. Thor threatened her, which was not a good way to go about things. So then so he's been calling the Avengers to come help, check in on her. And then she went to the UN and disrupted the UN and made forceful proclamation that they're going to, she wanted to start threatening and attacking people to be left alone. So he called some of the Avengers to go kind of make sure things didn't get out of hand. So Spider-Man, obviously being in New York, they're all in New York.
Right, yeah.
Through the Avengers books, a lot of them are out in space and shit. Spider-Man's still earthbound. So he called the Avengers and Spider-Man showed up trying to deflate the UN situation. So that's what happened with the royal family portion. The other portion is all that they call new humans, which are the Inhumans that were recently affected by the Terrigen Mist cloud.
Yep.
The new humans, there's one called Reader who is blind, but he has all these little cards with Braille on it. And what the cards say, he can touch them and say what they are, and that power actually takes effect. So one of the Braille cards says away, and it teleports him someplace else.
Okay.
So he has been hired by a company to bring new humans to this company as a sanctuary, and he finds that it's not really a sanctuary. He's exploiting them.
Shocking.
Right?
Yeah.
So the one that he recently bonded with, he decides to save her, and now they're on the run. I'm sure they'll make their way to New Eidolon and bring all the Inhumans and New Humans together. I'm leaving out any judgment until Axis is over. When you're forced to write something for a title for, a big crossover, it's not really your story to tell. So you're kind of...
It's kind of the same issue that I had with Magneto. It started out really good, and they're like, oh, we're going to obviously tie Magneto into this whole Red Skull Axis thing. So,
and they're doing it... They're also doing it now with the cosmic stuff. Now all the cosmic books are going to have their own huge crossover with the Gate. So now we have Avengers having a crossover that's affecting all the Avengers books, and therefore like Iron Man and that stuff, as well as Axis, and now the Cosmics having a huge crossover that's affecting all the cosmic books.
Okay.
So Nova's literally going from Secret Origin 1 issue to Axis 1 issue to this new crossover event.
Oh, jeez.
Right?
That is too much.
Like, it is getting on my nerves, which I don't know if you've noticed, it is becoming less and less Marvel and more back to DC.
Yeah.
Which is just the ebb and flow of comics. While one rises, the other falls.
Yep.
That's just what it is.
All right, so the second book that I picked up this week is something that I do not normally pick up, but I had a very good reason for picking up, and that is Wonder Woman number 37.
Oh, let's hear it.
So it was a little interesting because I have not read any Wonder Woman since the relaunch in 2011.
Okay, I find that actually surprising because the Brian Azzarello run, fantastic.
Right, and I heard that.
Fantastic.
It was one of those things where New 52 was kind of when I started really picking comics up again.
Sure.
And I set a title limit for myself.
Oh, that's fair.
So I said, I'm going to get 10 titles. Obviously, I've gone over that at this point, but this is 3 years. I know, right? I'm going to get 10 titles. That's what I'm going to start with. And really, for the DC ones, I have not added anything new since then, except like Sinestro, which started after that. I added, but most of the other things that I've added in since then are like Image books or Boom or things like that. So I have no clue what happened in the last 36 issues. I know at some point Wonder Woman became the God of War.
Yeah, that happened.
So, Hippolyta's dead now.
Rest in peace.
It's the way this is written. It almost sounds like Wonder Woman was the one that had to kill her. I'm not really sure what happened there. So I was kind of confused with some of the stuff happening in this book, but essentially it boils down to Wonder Woman is on Themyscira. Is that where she's from still?
Paradise Island, still Themyscira.
I always get it mixed up because the TV show was Paradise Island.
Nope, Themyscira.
Okay, so she's on Themyscira, and some of the other leaders are like, look, you're not fulfilling your duties as the rightful heir to the throne. You're not here protecting your homeworld. You're off busy doing whatever you're doing in the world of man. She's like, well, I have a duty to them because I'm also a hero there. I also have this duty as the god of war. So yeah, I'm not here because I have all these different responsibilities, and I will try my best to be here, but I also have to, go fulfill my other duties. Well, then the island gets attacked, so she's got to go be god of war and defending Themyscira. On the opposite side of the story, you see kind of this old witch and one of her servants. They have a baby over a boiling cauldron. Something bad's about to happen. So they're plotting something. They end up slitting the baby's throat, putting him in the cauldron, her in the cauldron, and they're doing something. So it keeps going back and forth between the fighting and this, and you keep seeing the Amazons saying, hey, Wonder Woman, you're not really doing what you're supposed to do, and then, oh, it's a baby in a cauldron, and then Wonder Woman, you didn't practice, and then, oh, it's baby in a cauldron. It comes to the last page, and you find out that they sacrificed this baby into this cauldron of clay, and what they've brought out of it is their new champion or defender, whatever you want to call it, Donna Troy. I've been waiting 3 years now for Donna Troy to get back into the DCU. She's always been one of my favorite DC characters.
Sure.
Just because, while yes, her story has changed so many times over the years.
No, once, twice, 19.
Yeah, somewhere in there. And here's a new one for. I've always liked what they've done with her. I think they've always been able to tell really good stories with her without her being completely confined to one mythos.
Sure. No. How do you feel that she's taking on her origin story is the origin story of the former Wonder Woman?
Right. I don't have an issue with that because this kind of goes back. What her original roots were in the Amazon mythology.
Absolutely.
They changed that over the years, but now it looks like they're going to go back with that. What I am not looking forward to is if they make her a Wonder Woman villain and it stays that way.
No, they can't do that. There'd be too much outcry. Like, this show would turn into us just every day. Can we have back the old Donna Troy? All right, I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
You know?
And is Kyle Rayner dead yet? No.
Hey, bite your tongue. I don't want to hear
So, that is the entire reason I picked up this issue. I will probably be picking up the next few issues to see what they do with her.
Now you're going to go back and buy the issue that you missed, because that way you can actually literally just start the run at Meredith and David Finch's run.
I could. Here's my OCD about this. If I go back and buy issue 36, why not go back and buy the first 36 issues?
That's a good question. Why not?
Because that's $100.
No.
If you're talking $3 an issue,
It's not $3 an issue anymore. Usually, I think that like the first 20 are only like 99 cents.
Okay.
I think. Take a look. You're looking. I mean, not now, but you know.
But yeah, I mean, and are those first 36 issues really something I would want to read anyways?
Yeah, they're pretty solid, man.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty solid.
Well, then maybe I will be doing that. I don't know yet.
Consider it.
I will consider it.
He's gonna do it. Well, guys, that's it for us this week. We talked comics. We talked Disaronno. Notice how that Disaronno went really quickly.
Yes, it did.
Maybe next time we need to have more.
That sounds like a sound plan.
That is a sound plan.
Okay.
Guys, we will see you next week before the holidays. Have a fantastic weekend. Everyone enjoy and watch The Hobbit, because we're going to talk about it probably. At least I'm going to watch it.
I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, I know. Bye.
See ya.